talking pro wrestling on the Squared Circle on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Justin Greenberg. I'm here with Joe Ritter, Dominic Arbolino, and Just Gabe.
Yeah, you gotta call
Did you
him
guys
Just
do
Gabe.
that last week?
Of course we did. It's a thing now.
All right.
That's his name.
We're keeping that.
Just Gabe. That's what he said he wanted to be called, so we're just going
That's
with Just
his name.
Gabe.
I think that's going to be history. You're going to hear in like 5 years, where'd you get that name, Just Gabe? And then boom.
You know, back at Nassau Community College,
back on
WHPC, my
When it has
friends.
osteoporosis. I say that story to my grandkids.
Oh,
I was on this
Things
radio.
just got dark.
I was
all right,
on
wrestling.
I was on this wrestling show.
What's wrestling?
Oh, all right. So, do we want to talk about Extreme Rules first, or we want to go through this rumor mill and all the things that are going on?
I'd say
in the world
let's
of
talk about
wrestling?
Extreme Rules.
Yeah, you know, the actual
Extreme Rules.
pay-per-view, yeah.
I mean,
And then the rumors.
was it a pay-per-view though?
I liked it a lot.
Oh,
I don't
my
know
God.
what's with all the heat that's coming from it. I'm going to be
It's
honest.
pretty good.
I didn't mind it.
I didn't like it.
Of course you didn't.
Shut up.
Let's hear it.
Shut
Let's
up.
go over the card and we'll see what you didn't
Okay.
like. All right?
I did not watch the pre-show.
All right, yeah,
It's
the
all right,
pre-show
it's all
I didn't
right.
watch either. Andrade Cien Almas, I didn't even know had a match. I'm pretty sure it was like a split decision to put him on there.
Yeah, it was.
It was just kind of him getting rid of Sin Cara, so that was...
I actually thought it was an okay match.
Of course it was. They put in a great match on SmackDown Live. I wasn't able to watch it, but I'm sure it was a great match. They're both great in-ring competitors, and obviously Sin Cara really just doesn't get noticed enough. He's just... Again, no, I feel like a lot of the luchadors are very good wrestlers, and then obviously we all know Andrade. This is just good for him because now he's finally moving on from Sin Cara, and we'll see what's going to be happening on SmackDown Live. Maybe we'll get something for SummerSlam. I don't know. I don't know what they could do with him. But
The problem with Sin Cara, and this is the problem with a lot of luchadors, is they wear the mask, which is cool, but his mask covers his entire face,
Yeah.
right? And you can't see any emotion. At least the guy like Rey Mysterio or even like a Juventud Guerrero back in the day, you could
Juventud.
you could see their mouth, so you could see some sort of emotion. Him, it's just like a faceless guy, so you don't know if he's like in pain, if he's happy, if he's excited. And I don't know, is his English good? Can he speak English at all?
I think it's okay, but like he mostly speaks in Spanish.
Yeah, so
it
again,
also
that's
sounds
tough
weird
as well.
too, because you know you have that like piece of fabric.
Yeah,
over
it's
his
muffled.
mouth. Yeah.
So it's tough,
Kinda.
even from the get-go. I mean, I remember when Sin Cara debuted, and they had all this fanfare around him. He was a big wrestler in Mexico, and he came over to the United States, and just it seemed right from the get-go he would botch, right?
I don't think it's the same guy.
No, it's this is the
This is
second Sin
yeah.
Cara.
Yeah.
The
because-
original was terrible.
Yeah, like Mystico went back to Mexico, and I think he's still doing okay in CMLL. But like, and this Sin Cara, like he's okay, but like I feel bad for the guy because he had to pick up like where stuff like left off. So like he has to revive the character, but he's not revive; it's mostly be like a worker. So
Yeah, I think they just invested so much into the character that they just decided to keep it because, they sell the masks. I don't know how well that sells. He's a character that will never win a singles gold. I don't expect him to be around, 5-10 years from now, and which is unfortunate because I think he started off so hot when the original Sin Cara was brought up. But did you see this match? Did anyone watch this match?
Yeah, I did. I watched
I
it.
saw some parts of it.
What did you guys think? You guys thought it was fine, right? Because they're both good workers.
There's nothing.
okay.
There's nothing wrong with the match. They obviously, like you said, they're good workers. Almas, has put on stellar performances before. Not that it could have been. I think for me, the main story of this whole pay-per-view is just it's okay, but it could have been so much better for every single match. I feel like I'm gonna say it now, so I don't have to say it again. All of these matches could have been 1,000 times better, but they weren't. They were okay. They weren't crazy.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let's go to the next match. Sanity defeated New Day. I mean, this was pretty much obvious. You're not going to bring up a new team and have them lose. It stinks that, a team... Just look at Andrade Cien Almas. I mean, here's a guy who's just brought up. He was the NXT champion, right? Wasn't he not world champion?
Yeah.
And now he's in the opening of the pre-show. Then you have Sanity, who was a big deal in NXT, and then they're... in the pre-show.
Well, they took a little while to come up, and I think what they're really the problem is right now is they're just kind of trying to get them wins right off the bat with obviously jobbers. I'm not saying the New Day are jobbers, but the New Day, it doesn't really hurt them to take this loss.
No, they're over forever.
Going on
it gives Sanity a good win, but I think there is going to be more to come for both, for Sanity and Andrade Cien Almas. You just got to be patient with it, especially with SmackDown 2. It is the 2-hour show, so it is harder to get a lot of more talent on the show, unlike Raw, where you have useless stuff.
Yeah, a lot of filler.
So unneeded. But, so I think they just got to start building up storylines. I don't know what could be next for Andrade. I don't know what could be next for Sanity, because as long as the Bludgeon Brothers have the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships, I don't see Sanity going for it.
Nah, because they're heels, and then the Bludgeon Brothers are heels. Yeah. They could do triple threats. I don't know who's going to be next in line for the Tag Team Championships on SmackDown. Possibly Sheamus and Cesaro, which we haven't seen a lot in quite a while, so maybe they'll be brought up. Was this match any good? Did you see this, Joe or Gabe?
I saw some of it, but what I liked about it was that they made Killian Dane like a monster, because you saw Big E, he pushed him to the stairs. I was like, it didn't sit well with me. But towards the end, Killian was one of the reasons why they picked up the win, and Eric and Wolf did a really good spot where they got Kofi on the table and broke it. And, I liked it a lot. But I just hope they don't end up like the Ascension, becoming monster heels, and then just become a joke later on.
Yeah, for me, this match, again, these guys are great in-ring workers. I feel like both of these tag teams, New Day's put on stellar performances with the Usos. Sanity put on an insane matches in NXT. I feel like this match could have been crazier. It could have been,
Yeah, but it's a kickoff show. You can't be expecting that much.
It's not. I'm not talking about the kickoff show. I'm taking them being on the kickoff show does not matter, because you know what? New Day last year at SummerSlam was on the kickoff show with the Usos, and that was probably the best match of the night.
Well, yeah,
and that was on the kickoff show,
a 6-hour pay-per-view. On top of it.
I don't care.
All right, good. I'm glad you don't care. I'm just stating a fact.
Just because it's a the kickoff show. What does that mean? All right, so we should expect these matches to suck?
No, I just think they're not top tier, or they should be. I'm not saying Andrade Cien Almas, Insanity, and New Day are not top tier, but compared to the card, you're expecting more from the actual card than you are from the kickoff show. It's just a fact.
And I wouldn't put your body on the line. I mean, if I'm in a tables match, which was one of the only actually extreme matches on this Extreme Rules card, I'm not going to take crazy bumps if I'm not on the main card. If I'm on the kickoff
all
show.
I'm saying is that both of these teams again fit into my theme of this could have been so much better. How about this? They should have been on the main card, because some of these things that happened on the main card were so stupid.
Yeah,
we'll get into
this main card, it just seemed like a SmackDown or a Raw for the most part. Let's go into the opening match of the actual card of Extreme Rules. It was the B team defeating the Deleters of Worlds.
I'm guessing you're happy, Joe.
I told you guys.
I don't care that you told me. I just don't understand. What could be next for them?
What's next for the B team?
I would expect, I think at SummerSlam.
I can't wait to see it.
I'm telling you what's next. 3 letters, AOP.
I hope.
These guys are going to transition into AOP. AOP is going to absolutely kill them, and then the Deleters of Worlds will return.
I hope we get some type of maybe triple threat type of thing for this, because look, you all know the Deleters of Worlds, they deserve their rematch.
Yeah, I would think at SummerSlam maybe a compound match.
Yes, but it just.
I hate Bray Wyatt. I'm just going to say it. I was thinking about it last night. I think Bray Wyatt, he came into the company, he was awesome, and he was cutting the best promos in the company at the time. And he's just cut the same promo for 5-6 years, and in the ring, he's not awful. But he does the same exact thing. He's kind of like a Randy Orton, a guy who has talent. He's a second-generation wrestler. But it's just the same moveset. He doesn't evolve at all. And it's just, I think they should have struck when the iron was hot. This guy was over like Rover by WrestleMania 31-ish. And they should have gave him the belt. They ended up giving him the belt maybe last year for the first time. And it just felt like such an afterthought. I don't think he'll ever be as big as he once was. This match was fine. I enjoyed the B team, but they're such a joke. They're such a comedic team. The fact that you go from I don't know, just a team from like the 80s, like the Hart Foundation. I just don't see like the B team on that level. They were essentially jobbers for like 5 years.
Yeah, and also with the Miztourage, like they were like.
Now they're the World Tag Team Champions. It just seems like I know Vince McMahon has never liked tag team wrestling. I think this just goes to show.
And like I'm happy for Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel.
I love those guys.
Yeah, they're good workers. But the way that I feel like it was just kind of like shoved down our throats in a way that like you kind of just have to accept it. Like they're gonna go and win for it. But I'm just confused like of what's next. I'm just confused of how they're gonna go about this. That's what I want to see. And obviously I know we'll start to see that tonight and in later weeks. But I'm just confused. And I really have no idea how they're going to go about this.
I just feel bad that Matt Hardy took all the pins in all the encounters.
Literally every match. Yeah, because Bray Wyatt was dumb and got into an accident, which is his fault.
Bray Wyatt stinks. All right, let's move on. What would you do you want to do like a match rating thing, kind of like what Dave Meltzer does?
Okay.
What would you give this match? So 5 stars is the best it could be.
I give this a 1.
Yeah, I was thinking like a 1 and like a quarter.
I give it a 1.5.
Yeah, like 1.5.
All right, so let's move on. We had a little backstage segment. Kurt Angle issued an ultimatum to Brock Lesnar, and basically Brock either needs to come on Raw tonight and acknowledge that he has to have a title defense, or Kurt Angle is going to strip him of the title. I would assume Brock is going to be there tonight.
Better late than never.
It should be. I mean, with what they said, if he doesn't do that, then they're going to have to pull the title from him.
Didn't they do something like this with CM Punk? Where
I believe so.
Yeah, where like they took the title from CM Punk and then he showed up with the title and like him and John Cena were in the ring and they unified the title.
Yeah, that was Money in the Bank 2011, and that was some of the best stuff. That was the summer of Punk. That was some of the best wrestling that there's been in the last 15 years.
They could do something similar like that maybe if they wanted to, but I hopefully not. Hopefully they just Brock shows up. Brock's there for 5 minutes. Paul Heyman cuts his copy-paste promo from like 3 weeks ago.
And there's another guy. I love Paul Heyman. He's great, but it's the same promo every week.
Apparently now Paul Heyman is on the writing team.
He is. He is for Raw. He's now the writing team. He's part of the writing team for Raw, which is a very good sign.
Yeah, but you know what? He's part of the writing team. I mean, listen, Paul Heyman is the king of booking. This guy... ECW is probably one of the most cultish things of all time. People still chant for ECW when they should have been chanting ECW during this pay-per-view. Extreme Rules, that should have been the name of it, going crazy. But this was an extreme.
The crowd
really
was a joke anyways.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that later, but Paul Heyman being a writer on Raw, I mean, I really don't care unless he's in charge. If he's not in charge, I don't care.
Well, still, I think having
but it's
Paul
not
Heyman
enough.
I think it's not enough, but I think it'll do. Still, I think you'll see some.
When did
changes
this start?
Like a couple days ago. He just got hired.
That's great.
No, it was last week's Raw that he worked on, but I think it might just be a temporary thing because I remember when Tyson Kidd booked a match, it was one of the best matches ever. Mm-hmm. He hasn't booked anything else recently, so
Listen, Paul Heyman, if he can start booking, if they tell Paul Heyman you can have complete control.
I mean, that's never going to happen. He was the head writer of SmackDown for a number of years, and he did some really good stuff in the early 2000s. So if they give him a writing ability, and if he proves himself that he's loyal to the company, I'm all for more Paul Heyman, especially behind the scenes. This was interesting though at UFC. Last week, right?
Yeah, we talked about this, how Brock Lesnar showed up.
That was awesome, man.
It was really awesome that the UFC is starting to become scripted, just like the WWE.
Listen, I said it on the squared, not squared, I said it on the squared circle, and I said it on the home stretch, which was right after us. I said it then, too, that whole thing of him pushing Cormier and everything is completely fake.
Yeah,
there is nothing real about it. Joe Rogan, who is the most, he does not care what anyone says about him because he's Joe Rogan. Literally, you can see in his face he wanted nothing to do with any of that. The second it happened, Joe Rogan walked away. He was like, I'm not going to be a part of this. And on his podcast, he doesn't mention it. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't want to talk about it because everyone knows how scripted and fake it was. I'm going to say it a million times. Dana White is not the greatest owner or promoter, and the best promoter in the world, believe it or not, is Vince McMahon. The guy could sell anything just about. He could make you can make a match between me and Dom look like it's going to be crazy if you give him enough money, enough time to, back in the day. So it seems like Dana White is trying to take a play out of his book and using one of his biggest box office stars in Brock Lesnar, who's been, believe it or not, people go crazy when Brock Lesnar shows up for a UFC match anywhere against anyone, and against Daniel Cormier, who I believe is one of the best UFC fighters in recent memory. Definitely will be in a Hall of Fame one day. Definitely will be up
and apparently
there.
this is going to be Cormier's last fight.
Yeah,
he's going to retire soon.
And you know what? I said it on the home stretch. Cormier wins in 2 rounds. I don't know. There's no debate
we'll
about
wait
it.
and see, but that's not going to be till next year.
Brock can even get